Hi, my name's Sam and today I'm going to make a quick guide about how to replace your standard plug socket with a USB one that looks a little bit like this, so hopefully it will save you a lot of clutter. Before we did this, we had this plug hub here that had a lot of our cables in, and this whole area was just a mess, so it's just helped us tidy up a little bit and keep things organised. So there's a few things you'll need to get yourself started, and they're not too expensive. The whole thing came to £30 for me. Once you've got a couple of the bits, then you can just buy more plugs if you want. They're about £10 or £11 each. So I've got the plug itself. Ours is a new build property, so standard 25mm box, and I've gone for the one with two USB ports and also a USB-C port. That would be the most useful in our house for the devices we have. And you'll want a socket tester. I went for this Martindale one. That seemed like the best value for money on Amazon, usually around £20. And you'll also need some insulated screwdrivers just to keep you safe. This 2-pack came to £4, and that's everything I needed for the job. So once you've got these two bits, you can just buy as many of these as you want, I suppose, at an extra £10 or £11 each. So I'm going to use these things to fit the socket here where we do charge a lot of our items, and it'll hopefully clear a bit of clutter on the counter. So we've cleared up the clutter and now we're nearly ready to go. There's just one more very important thing that of course we need to do, and that is to head to your electric box and turn the electricity off. In our case it's the whole of the downstairs or wherever you're fitting your socket. So we've got down sockets there. Now I'm going to use my socket tester just to make sure that the socket is dead so we don't get any nasty shocks. And that's what it looks like outside the box. These lights will come on if there's any charge in the socket. So we're still getting some electricity, so I'm going to go back to the garage and see what's going on. After turning off the downstairs lights in case it's hooked up to that, I'm back in the garage and I'm just going to turn a few more switches off because I'm still getting an electric reading from that particular socket. This is why this thing is so important. We might have just assumed that it was okay to go, but it's telling us that it's not. I'm going to turn everything off here apart from the boiler because that'll be a pain to sort out, and hopefully we're ready to go. God knows what circuit this is on because it wasn't on the garage sockets as labelled on the switchboard, but as we can see there's no lights now, so the socket looks dead. So I'm going to try and hurry up with this job so the freezer doesn't start defrosting and things like that. And my beautiful assistant is going to help me open the socket ready to go. Come on then, get it open. That's the downside. Turning all the electrics off means the kids now have no entertainment. There's probably no danger, but I like to wear gloves anyway, just in case. If there is any residual charge, you might have an automated screwdriver to help you with this. This is kind of the boring bit. You'll find these screws are in quite deep. And the pack does come with some screws to screw your plate in, but I'm just going to keep these safe just in case. Now this plate should just pop off fairly easy depending on how well it's sealed, and as we open it we can see basically it is the same as on the back of the new ports. So we've just got to put the cables in the relevant spots. So as you can see we've got an N for neutral, we've got the earth cable, and we've got the live one, and it's very straightforward, this particular product. We've got the E for earth, N for neutral, and L for live. So we just need to put those cables basically into these slots here, and it's a bit fiddly, but that's about as difficult as it gets. It's even color coded just to make it even simpler. And just to prove how easy this job is, I've got my assistants helping, hindering me over my shoulder the whole time. It's still fairly straightforward. They're just passing me the screws and the screwdrivers to help me out. Aren't you gals?
Yeah.
Thank you. So what I'm going to do with the smaller screwdriver from that pack is just unscrew these bits here and free the cables, remove this faceplate totally. I just needed to go back to the thicker one, 'cause some of these screws are a bit tricky. Can be a bit stiff if they've been sat there for a decade. Oh, there we go, it's off. And we've got the wires ready to put into our next socket. And it might be worth just keeping this as a spare in case you ever need it for anything.
Dada, Mama might be mad if you leave it like that.
So again, because it's been sat for a few years, these cables have been bent into place a certain way, but they are quite bendy. Hopefully you shouldn't have to expose these wires anymore. You should have plenty of give to manoeuvre them where you need to go. I've got the green and yellow earth on here, so I'm going to have to put this over here a bit, and brown over to this side, which is here, and the blue one. And you can probably tell by my descriptions via colour that I'm not an electrician, but yes, it's all clearly colour-coded to make it simple for layman's like me. I am trying to be a bit quick because, as I explained earlier, we've got all the plugs off at the moment, including the freezers and things, so we don't want to be defrosting anything. So I'm going to start by putting the brown one over here and going right to left, and hopefully they won't get in each other's way as much. So yeah, it's a case of pushing them together, getting them in that hole, push them in, make sure they've got plenty of support, and then screw it in.
But the light is at the...
You want it nice and firm, and hopefully once it's done, you've done the first one, the socket will hang, so it's nice and light, and then that makes it a bit easier from here. So the next one on this particular model is blue, which I believe is the neutral wire. So again, I'm just gonna unscrew it a little bit, just give me that gap. That looks firmly in. Let's screw that in. Happy with that. Finally, we've got the earth. And it can be a bit fidgety, but it just needs a little bit of force just to bend it all in and screw it together. Hopefully when you undo the faceplate, there's not too much excess cable that's going to get in your way. You probably can strip it back if you need to, but this is the second socket I've done. There's usually enough room to get everything pushed back in quite comfortably. And basically, that should be it. It's just a case of pushing it all back in and screwing it there. But before I do that, I'm just going to test it, make sure it's working. Here we go, back to the garage, and I'm just going to do the sockets again. You don't want to screw it all back in and then have to undo it all again. Let's go have a look. Use our socket tester. Hopefully we get the 3 red lights, because if not, I'm not really sure what you do about it. There's not too far wrong we can go, hopefully. We've got 3 red lights. It might show some flicker on the video there, but it is a solid light. Obviously the other one should be the same, but just to prove it, and you can probably tell all the other house lights have come back on if the brightness has just changed slightly on your screen there. Just to be extra safe, like we could just screw this straight back in now. I'm just gonna go turn all the plugs off again, just in case we catch any of the cables as we're putting it back in. I think that's the best way to do it.
Let's go!
Safety first. This is where you get your steps in. Again, I'm just going to turn everything back off apart from the boiler while we go back and push the faceplate back in. And I'm going to use the smaller, stubbier screwdrivers. That seems to give me a bit more purchase. I've not made too much of a mess, so the wife won't be upset with me. And I keep the other screws just in case there's anything wrong with these screws, but I found the ones that come with it fit perfectly. So I'm going to use the wider screwdriver, and let's get the other one in. Don't worry too much about lining things up with your hands. Like once you screw it in, it will kind of all go back into place. And this just seems to fit perfectly for us, this particular product off Amazon. So that should be it complete. This particular product does come with some white little stoppers to cover up these plug marks, and it also comes with 2 spare ones as well.
2 spare ones.
And finally, we're going back to the garage one more time to turn the electricity back on, so we can just make sure everything's working as it should be. Then we should be done. And final confirmation that everything's gone as it should, we'll just use our socket tester one last time to make sure everything's gone fine. Like I say, that light may be flickering on the screen there, but it's solid. And let's just plug in this phone just to make sure. With a USB socket, these switches don't need to be on. These are always using up a bit of power. There we go. So it's not fast charge, it's just normal charge. You can get fast charge sockets, but they're a bit more expensive. And it's as simple as that. If this video helped you, please like and subscribe. It's not the main kind of content I do, but I will bear you in mind if there's any jobs that I do around the house that I feel would be helpful to film and give tips on YouTube. Thank you.
See you in the